Hello student, good morning, all is well. Welcome you all in English class. So today Aisha Gupta Ansari is going to teach you the new chapter non-finite verbs. I think verbs you all know very well what are verbs. So verbs are action words. Here two types of verbs we are reading, that is finite and non-finite. Before learning the non-finite, it is necessary we should know what is finite. As you can see here in the graph, first is verb, the two types of verbs, finites and non-finites. And non-finites are three: infinitives, gerund and participle. And participles are in three forms: present participle, past participle and perfect participle. Children, hope you understand this verb chart. Verb, two type of verb, finite, non-finite. And non-finites are three: infinitive, gerund and participle, in which participles are in three forms: present participle, past participle and perfect participle. So see the next. Before learning, we have to understand the difference. Of course, these are verbs, finite and non-finite. Okay, what is finite verbs? Finite verbs depends on person. Person, you understood, noun. Okay, number, it means singular and plural. Subject, subject is in the sentence we are talking about, that of course is our person or noun. Okay, and tense. Are you getting? Finite verbs depend on person, number, subject and tense. Okay, tense, it means as per the time it gets changed. The verb gets changed in the first form, second form and third form. That is called finite verbs. So finite verbs. Now what are non-finite verbs? So non-finite verbs don't depend on persons, on number, subject and tense. It is absolutely different from finite verbs. Okay, now see in the next slide and understand what are finite verbs. As I have told you, finite verbs are depending on person and number, subjects and tense. So a verb which is limited by the number, means singular plural of the subject, or the person of its subject, and also on the tense of the subject. Okay, the form of verb depends on its subject. The verb form which is depending on the subjects. See the example, it may clear to you through the example. See this sentence: they play football. Okay, they is subject and person also, and number is plural, they is plural. Okay, play, verb. Which type of verb it is? It is a finite verbs because it is limited and controlled by the subject. Okay, football is object, plural subject they, plural verb play. Next, see the sentence: he plays football. Because your subject is he, so you will add s with the verb play. Okay, subject is singular, so verb is also singular. He singular, then play will add s and it will also become singular. In this way you come to know when the subject is singular, verb is singular. It means your verb depends on the subject. Such type of words are finite verbs. Okay, children, are you getting? Subject, person and number and tense. Look at the tense. You are playing football. It is present continuous tense. Okay, so the verb you can see are playing, it changed it changes as per the tense. Okay, next, she was playing football. Was playing football. Okay, was playing is past continuous. Here again the verb form change as per the tense. The verb which are changing as per the subject, person and tense and number, they are finite verbs. Next, then what are non-finite verbs? Non-finites are completely opposite to the finite. They don't work like finite verbs. Okay, non-finite verb don't change their form even when the person or the number or the subject changes, nor on the tense of the sentence. Okay, see the example. They want to eat something delicious. Okay, they want. They is subject, want is finite verb because it is depending on they. They plural subject, so want is also plural, so it is finite verbs. Now to eat, it is what? To eat is a non-finite verbs. It is not working for the subjects. Okay, it itself playing its role. Understood? So to eat is non-finite verbs. She wants to eat chocolates. Okay, what is non-finite? To eat. He wants to play football. To play. They saw a running cheetah in the forest. Running. Okay. Swimming is a good exercise. Swimming. Here the verb itself playing a role of a noun or objects. Such verbs which itself are playing a role of a noun or the subject or the verb or the adjective, they are called non-finite verb. So now it's clear to you. There are two types of verbs, finite and non-finite verbs. I hope finite and non-finite you understood the difference between. Now we are learning types of non-finite verbs. So three types of non-finite verbs: the infinitive, the gerund and participle. So we will learn now the first non-finite verb, that is the infinitive. Now, what is the infinitive? Infinitive is a non-finite verb, okay? And it is generally preceded by to. What do we use in infinitive? To plus V1. What is? To plus V1 is a verb that is used like a noun, adjective or adverb. Okay, infinitive can be used in many ways. You can see simple infinitive. When infinitive is used as noun, it is called simple infinitive. What is a work of a noun? Noun becomes a subject in the sentence, it becomes an object, or it gives a complement to the verb. So similarly here, infinitive means to plus V1, the verb form with the to will work like a subject. See the first function. When infinitive becomes subjects, how it looks like? You can see the example. To read is a good habit. To read is infinitive. To find fault is easy. To find is infinitive. Okay. Next, as object to the verb, when infinitive become the object. I like to play. To play. He likes to read. To read. Okay. Now as complement to the verb, his great pleasure is to dance. It is a complement giving to the pleasure. Okay. To dance. His intention is to sing for you. To sing is here giving complement to is. Okay. So the three function of Simple infinitive working like an noun. Number 1, subject. Number 1, when it becomes object. Number 3, it gives the complement to the verb. Okay, use infinitive with to, T-O-O, to and enough. He is too weak to move. She is strong enough to run fast. Okay, use of infinitive with it. It is our duty to respect our elders. It is difficult to live without air. It is dangerous to play with explosive. You can see to respect, to live, to play, these all are infinitive. Okay, so you have learned the usage of infinitive. Okay, use of infinitive with to and enough, and use of infinitive with it. Now gerundial infinitive. When infinitives are used as adjectives or adverbs, they are called gerundial infinitive. Like to eat, we eat to live, to modify a verb. This wine is pleasant to drink. Here this verb modify as adjective. I hope it is clear to you. Use of infinitive. Okay. Simple infinitive with enough and to, and with it, and one more gerundial infinitive. Now the bare infinitive. Bare infinitive means that is infinitive but without use of to. Here are some verbs with which we can't use to. To is not used after auxiliary verbs shall, will, must, dare, could, might, need, can, may, should. Okay, some verbs except out and used. With this we use to. Okay, so example, I should write. With should you cannot use to. You can sing. I shall punish you. To is also not used with hear, see, make, feel, watch, know, let. Examples, I heard her singing. She made me fool. I let her go. To is not used in negative and interrogative with need and dare. I need not go. Dare you act like her? Okay. Next is here we are doing the exercise using introductory word it. See it carefully. Number 1. To walk on the pavement is safe. So answer will be it is safe to walk on the pavement. Okay. This exercise you have to write in the notebook. It's of your grammar book, exercise number 22. Okay, in this exercise you have to rewrite the sentences using it. So after it what should come? Helping verb should come, है ना? So what do you take? To tell lies is wrong. The answer will be it is wrong to tell lies. 3. To call people names is not polite. Where can you find auxiliary verb? Is not polite. So before it you will use it. It is not polite to call people names. To read your writing is difficult. It is difficult to read your writing. Next is to miss this opportunity would be a pity. It would be a pity to miss this opportunity. Okay, I hope till 5 you have understood. Next you can see here this exercise 22. I have helped you to solve from 1st to 5. Now you have to do rest by your own in your English notebook. I hope you would be able to do by your own after listening this video. To deceive your best friend is disgraceful. What will be the answer? It is disgraceful to deceive your best friend. Next, I hope you all would be able to do. For any queries, you can make message to your concerned teacher. Thank you, students.